Coastline, everybody, you just heard them shout. That means we're into the matchup, and of course the first task is to ban these operators. Who will be removed and who will see the light of day? And the first one to go is Sophia.
Okay. It's a restriction on this map, and you know, it's very quick bans coming through. The conversation of how can we pull something out of what was a very pacey attack. Jackal limits the control on the roam, that limits the boxy space that Coastline is in the sort of hold. You dig yourself in. Valky's all step for step and par, and all within the course and the green for that as well. It is pretty numerical. The only standout right now so far is Zafia, but it will add some solidity to that defense. And I think it's a bit of a clever play, because one thing that we saw before on Chalet was Liquid being late on their attacks, their collapses, and struggling with that last bit of utility sometimes, like Banshees. Pulling Zoph out of that might be something that Coastline's a much thinner map, but that might cause similar problems. That might find them having to play a bit later than usual.
It's funny that you say that, because let's just look at some of these entry kill times, right? FaZe, 1 minute, 1 minute 15, 2 minutes 37, 2:12, 2:07, 2:05, 1:12, 2:2. And then when you go over to the side of Liquid's opening kills, 2 minutes, 45 seconds, 55 seconds, 1 minute, and then 2 minutes, which is the outlier, 12 seconds on the clock. So if you're talking about they were a little bit slow on some of their attacks, yes, they left it up to the very, very last moment, but they were able to come through, to pull through. And now, of course, knowing there might be a little bit of a restriction with the lack of the Sophia, it is something you can adapt to.
It's massively worth mentioning Coastline is paper thin in comparison. I know I've said it a couple of times throughout this, but it's always worth reintroducing it if you're kind of not used to seeing these experiences on these different maps and what they can offer, and you're trying to, in this game, you take a lot into consideration as much as you can, and the physicality of what a map offers is one of those things. It is quick by design, quick by definition, sometimes punishingly so. So anything that might give FaZe that advantage and make Liquid seem more like Chalet Liquid rather than Cafe Liquid is a good change and a good Liquid in their books at least.
2:43. Air jabs being deployed, making sure that these runouts are going to be happening. Liquid on that attack. Starting off Coastline here, it's FaZe that is on that defense, and let's see which of the two will be leading the pack and leading the charge. Is Nask already clearing out here on the guidance of a drone? We'll be aware of the fact that Penthouse will indeed be clear, and no one will be in theater either. The threat, however, will be from below. Souls playing with that Nitro, pre-placing it as well. Astro hoping that they are going to be able to put up the damage that is necessary to take out these Liquid players right before they strike.
Well, that mute jammer just on the back of the vase is able to stop those popping open. I think there it goes. The Thatcher rolls through. He's on the board for one of the first times in a while, and that will allow them to alleviate some of these holds. Heart Destruction, though, isn't the biggest be-all and end-all. That's usually one of only a couple of walls that ever really gets open for the angles it gives you, sometimes the back of quad, if you want to dig out the player that's on the corner, but obviously it's usually a smoke, and smoke is gone. So instead, we're going to see slight adaptations, Goyo, to buy themselves some of those angles and maybe some of that time, and 4 C4s in total to play against that default just on the inside of Aquador.
And the S-Charge that was just placed down did not destroy the pre-placed C4 that is still down there. You can see that on the left top of your screen on that HUD. Important to notice as well, as where previously EMPs would be destroying these little pieces of utility, that's no longer the case, and that means it will still be active and will live through many of these different ways. That's a good grenade. Palu opens up the score, and Cameraman will be guided towards the cameras himself to try and find more as Palu goes aggressive. Gets a second somehow.
He's already found his way into Coastline and taken a double across, well, technically 3 different stories if he started on the roof, but let's say it's 2 for the sake of the map and the deaths involved. What a take. But what a little amount of time that is suddenly left, 30 seconds. And they're starting to see if they can get some ground underneath, clear a pocket around that default plant space so they can't get those C4s in. It's Bullet that has an idea that someone's close, but they've gotten closer than they know. They aren't 100% aware, and look at the pressure that comes around the backside. Suddenly it's just the one body and a nobody.
What a way. Oh, what a way to start this off. Flawless round right after we come out of Chalet.
This is one of those great series of Siege and great games of Siege where you're aware of the stakes, but in a way they don't massively, you forget about them. Just for a bit, because you just laser in on the game itself and the play between two teams that are giving it their all and giving it everything to take. And yeah, there's huge stakes. The losing team goes home. The losing team doesn't have a chance to lift the hammer, to be that team that might take it, because it's a new team. Whoever gets to hold the hammer this time, they are fresh hands that are going to lift that to the sky and the ceiling of this wonderful auditorium.
Valebonia.
I tried to pronounce it earlier on stream, and
did it not go well? Or did it?
Oh, I mean, it went okay.
Okay, because I was going to say, you have a history
of mispronouncing French on stream. Yes. So I didn't double check with any native speakers whether I messed it up or not. First opening round, beautiful. It's a flawless, and it was perfect. They knew where they needed to be. The early kill was caught sleeping, and then the drop down to get the Mozzie as well. I think Mozzie was taken a bit by surprise, thought he would have a moment instead, and didn't expect Palu to double down on the aggression, but, well, that's what Palu does when he's having these games and when he's having these moments, and to jump off a roof and kill a man throwing an explosive off you.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think the Mozzie expected the sledge to be that close in that case, because he had a Nitro in hand, and at that moment it was like, well, awkward. As the Oryx is making its way in, already created some of the rotations for the defensive lineup, with that saving some ammunition for cameramen and saving a lot of time for the setups as well. Only taking about 5 HP, of course, not a big deal.
In concept, I love Oryx's possibilities on this map, because Coastline gets limited very quickly. If a team's good at closing down those rotations of the angle, if they get themselves hopped up on the roof of the Danger Donut, they can laser line across. I often equate it to like avoiding snipers in a stealth game like Splinter Cell, as you see the lines across and you're like, can I get past? Oryx offers you a counterballast in that, with the 2 staircases being very often locked very quickly. You have so many hatches. You have hidden hatches too. They're in awkward places for the attackers to keep a mantle on, like the one that's in security, and like this one that's sort of played around lobby, and like the one in the back corner of Aqua. There's a lot of options in every single corner of this map, and on paper, he could be great. On paper.
Paper, he can be great.
You want him to be great.
We haven't seen it yet the way we want him to see, though. And then that is the question, will this finally be that chance? Nesk takes Astra out. Puts it to sleep with the fishes. They're in aquarium. And as that is now FaZe again with a man down, they need to make sure that this does not escalate the way he did the previous round, because we all know how that one ended. It was Liquid to start off with a flawless on Coastline here, and for now it's still calm in the auditorium. No one is talking, it's really quiet, but that will change soon as Liquid is putting on the pressure.
Wow, and even more so, Nesk from above is a danger, and Palu, he's living dangerously. Most of his health is blown out of the building as he finds himself on a sliver, which in the role of a sledge, well, it's a dangerous job, but somebody's got to do it. 1 grenade left is going to be the cost here, and Cyber, he's looking for some rotate potential. He's looking for some pressure he might be able to pop. Smart. Drops and gets rid of it, and as you said, very smart, as Bullet also takes care of PSK.
Has the opportunity to join in luggage for the man that was still there, but it's Nesk with a triple kill. Plants will go down. 45 seconds soon on the clock. Bullet will be spotted out as he's trying to retake the vertical control, and Paolo will get that kill quite cleanly. It's only up to Cyber now, runs into the reinforcement. That won't help you there. Cyber tries to go aggressive, but runs right into the crossfire there. Nesk with a quad kill himself. And a beautiful round here from Liquid. A second one in a row, and they're starting to come alive again after FaZe just barely won out on Chalet.
Little bit of a missed moment there. I'm seeing these disconnects in FaZe's holes that we haven't otherwise seen before, but Coastline, it is one that does lend itself well to attackers. It becomes quite tough to secure space, and it's why I always get excited when I see an Oryx, because it has this option of possibility. It gives you maybe an idea, maybe a way to bring some freshness to a map that it's not that it's per se stale, it's just that it doesn't offer defenders a huge amount of new. It doesn't give you a lot of creative ways to embrace the construction of it. It's still not got a lot to it physically. It becomes a thread across an entire sort of pocket of space. It becomes a thread of holds and ankles and ways to dig in at encroaching attackers or potentially rotating defenders from pre-holds, from presets. And in a way, the flank watch is probably tested on this map more than on any other, because it's not always just utility, it's almost entirely and consistently gunfights that they find themselves in, but these are fights maybe less than 10, 15 feet from the site itself.
I'm still amazed by the knowledge of the Oryx. Like, oh, there is a airjet up there, so I cannot jump up the hatch. So let's just shoot out the floor so the airjet pops. Didn't decide to go there, of course, in the end, but
it's prepping.
At least stick it out in case he needed to go up there, but instead he decided to run into a reinforced wall. I mean, you know, there's multiple ways you could go at it.
When you say it like that,
it sounds a bit like I'm bullying him, right? Like teasing.
Well, enough that Oryx has now gone home and we find ourselves back with a similar setup onto the hookah that we had before. Mira with the extensions, she used to be banned. We talked about this earlier. She used to be banned pretty much consistently. Now she's allowed back on the board. There's more important things to take off, and in this case, obviously, you lose that smoke, which is, it's a curious removal, but it's not the most unexpected, to the point where we see teams, you know, it's not that they embrace it, but they're ready for adaptations around it. It does cost the defenders because there's safe places to play those smoke canisters, and these are two teams that we've already seen demonstrated are very talented with their smokes and with that SMG. Any one of those off the board is a fine removal, I think, for either of these two teams.
Very, very much so, and these SMGs that have been causing some problems for many of the other teams. Talking about problems, FaZe seems to be having some right now. Currently, Liquid is on an absolute tear, on an absolute roll, and as Nask is taking the first initial piece of damage, he will stay alive. And Moringa right now will be aware of the fact that the player is right beside. The Nitro will miss. He spots out the armor. However, glutes his head. Souls picks up the first kill, but Nask goes aggressive.
Digging his way through kitchen as Souls cooks up a little bit more trouble inside the bar itself. Served, shaken, and cold. Cyber is the cherry on the top of the drink, and now they're making sure that he gets nowhere further. Goodbye, one of them, but there's a man close on your left who might not know about it. Sinesk, he has to pop out of there. There's also a body above. They're all around you. You're surrounded. Get out of there, Agent Nesk. You're in danger. And your only offer of recompense and savior is PSK. He is holding onto the service and doing his best to service that flank watch. As I said, it is this matter of I'll watch your back, you, I guess, try and do the rest, because there's nowhere else really we can go. And oh no, it's only PSK left in this situation now. Everything to do, and all of the holds still playing into FaZe's favor.
PSK is sole man on a mission with 40 seconds on the clock to make it happen. He got spotted out there by the default cam, and that will make it a lot harder, so we might see a call for a timeout here to be made. Indeed, Runout comes out. There's no way he's going to be going for this. This is a timeout. This is Liquid saying, all right, it's fine. We'll take a loss. We know when it's over. Let's talk about what we can do better next round.
Yeah.
As they already have to. They don't need to do whatever they have to get this round. Sometimes it's better to take these extra 20 seconds, not having to use your tactical timeout straight away, just to quickly discuss what's going on and what needs to happen.
The thing about this game as well is you know that these two teams like to hit that punch early. You know they like to get aggressive early, so you don't really have that time at the beginning of a round. You can have brief moments to talk about the sort of push and what you're able to work out, and in the defender's case, the hold that they're putting into place, but that's obviously talked about now. But otherwise, in terms of the round timer itself, there's no real conversation time. There's no slow build. It's a punch. It's an explosion. It's a welcome to the party. How can we greet you? Kind of like that, with a drift by and then picking up one more for the trouble. Make it a double.
Beautiful kills there from Souls. Liquid unable to reply with that FaZe, put themselves on the board here on Coastline. So two very good rounds coming in from Liquid. Now those are still on the board, of course. They still happened. It's just that FaZe finally put a good round themselves on the board as well to just return the favor. And as we are heading towards the kitchen and service entry, we will know that there will be a heavy emphasis on that top floor. Something they need to make sure they keep control of, because otherwise that is going to be completely opened up by Paolo's Caber.
So the mirror set up that extension that they can give themselves across the front face of lobby, across any of that immediacy that likes to be played here. It's what I talked about before when I say you thread your defenses. You have those angles all the way back to security where you'll probably have a man that plays around there to swing by office if they need to make sure they don't have the quick entrance there too. They also have the back at the bottom of that white stairs. They can't quickly get in. Usually you'll see a take start either on the hookah side or you'll see it start on the penthouse side. Sometimes teams, if they're feeling bold, just dig themselves into Sunrise and pummel their way across the front face here, but it seems like we're getting the penthouse flavor this time.
Penthouse indeed. As the opening will be made. Surely they'll find out. There's a mirror window. It's just waiting for it. Just trying to get some information. Trying to make sure that the entry of the attack will not be as smooth as they might want it to be, and that means they need to now take lobby control, and with that they have the opportunity of opening up the mirror window. However, that will be contested by FaZe as well. They're not giving away anything for free as we speak, and these pings are coming out. They know what needs to be done. They know what walls need to be opened up, and as Bullet and Astra are running into new directions, it's Sexy Cake to finally put down that pressure onto the 90 hallway.
Well, they're trying to find a comfortable place to play Cyber, but they know that that window is going to be watched, and either way out, it's a bit of a fight. There is that mirror window being popped from relative safety. There might have been an explosion around the corner to buy themselves time. No, all C4s are still in pocket. I heard a pop, but it wasn't for that, and that will get dropped. They stick it. Souls wants another fight with this Vector, which he's so adapted with, but in the meantime, Nesk drops a body through the verticality, takes one out on side sight. Cameraman suffers yet again. C4 still in pocket, not able to get some revenge now, and that frees up a little bit more verticality. Another C4 bombs, but right where there was an explosion already, so he already found himself that little bubble of safety and pocket away. But look at this spread. Cyber wants to try and bite back. They're trying to put pressure back onto Penthouse. They're saying you cannot have this as comfortably as you do. We're making sure you don't. Cleaned up inside shower.
Good shot there, very necessary as Souls and well is trying to hold on right here. Nesk needing to make an entry happen, but Souls will be able to pick up one more as Cyber now drops to try and help the site in case that Liquid decide to go for the push either way. There is one member ready to go for the push. He is being challenged from the bomb chassis, but that is fine. He is not really trying to go for that kill first. He wants to get the Jaeger that just managed to return. He's all too deep in sight now. 35 seconds. Sexy Cake is ready at the service entrance. Needs to find a kill if he wants to go for the plan. Moringa will go down on the top floor. The second kill comes out as well. It's only up to PSK now. 25 seconds.
Really well played there from FaZe. As I said, they started to bite back, retake the territory and turf that had slipped away, and another time team out comes from the guns of Liquid. It's a 4 versus 1, and the diffuser's in front of a big, scary open door. I think the only thing that you'll be served with on that entrance is a notice of eviction from the plane of existence. It is 2-2 for FaZe Clan. It is a good resurgence from what was a quick 2 rounds, slipped away from them, and it is heating up on Litaro.
It is heating up. I see them, they're being happy. They're also very vocal, talking about what needs to happen. The pressure is on because today and right after this map, one of these teams is going to be eliminated from the Six Invitational. And which one will it be? Both currently have a map underneath them. Liquid started off really strong here on Coastline, but FaZe are able to make it come back, and I believe that is a 6-pick to the mirror from the Oryx. This blue and Sunrise bar that will be chosen to be defended by FaZe. And I have a feeling. We are going to another overtime. Just a tiny feeling.
Well, it's 2-2. Let's see how this starts to build. We've had 2 apiece. It's been either side. It's now the mantle and the pressure's on Liquid to see if they can pull some of this back into their favor. That success that they had so early, can they reconstruct it? FaZe have done good at being able to dig back against them. As I said, it was sort of a start of a battle of attrition that ended up in just being violence and volition. They threw themselves back into the penthouse and made sure that the name on the door was theirs and stayed theirs. This extension, peppering and pre-firing, hoping somebody slips by. There's a drone on the door, but nothing much more than that.
Moringa trying to find something, knows the door has been opened up and will be careful as a result. A very clever airjet being put down there, stopping the run out from happening, just blasting them straight back inside as soon as they come out. It's like, no. Back in. You're not allowed to go out. There's FaZe all over the map right here. No one really on site, just Souls quite close. The rest all over the place. And as the pressure is coming down, it will be Estra the first one to drop. And with that, give away the top floor pressure. Of course, we'll still be alive.
Yeah, that's the most important part here. Felt all the pressure that was coming around. They've been able to retake things before. This they're going to hand over in a similar fashion and say, listen, we could feel the heat across the board. And yeah, what a drone. They give the game away that there's one toying with the idea of the run out of its bullet with a C4 in pocket as well. So the play around that bedroom isn't going to be the safest. Those lines of Astro are going to make things curious and dangerous on the swing in there from the top of white. PSK flashes around the corner. He wants an idea of luggage, but it's the split from the opposite side that is actually the biggest bout of pressure. Steadily, they've been able to lock themselves in, go for the big rotate all the way around to the sunrise door. The split is becoming their point of pressure, hoping and trusting they've shepherded the remaining players of FaZe, which is all of them, because yet again, Liquid aren't in the position to be able to take the lives. It's becoming a later and later push, as it was a bit before, but they've done a lot more groundwork than they'd previously managed.
Bullet the one man. Still on a journey. Still on a flank right here, whilst Liquid is trying to hit the site. He has the opportunity to come in big as Nesk now takes down the kill onto Cameraman. That is the cool vibes under control for Liquid. That allows you to cut down any rotation between the sites. I believe that is Cyber coming up close right here with that factor. High rate of fire has the opportunity to come in big as the two members rotate back from the kitchen. They're trying to retake it here. I'm not sure if this will work. You gotta stay put, guys. You cannot just throw all your bodies down onto this Ash right here of Nesk. Picks up one, picks up two, picks up three. He's going for four, but he will not be finding it. His bullet to stay alive, but he will fall right after. Palu will win the round for Liquid.
Well, they desperately believed they needed to keep the vibes cool, but throwing four people to the body churner and having it take on the fourth, it was overwhelming by force. Okay, it worked. But you lost so much in doing it. They were holding it and you wanted the retake. You wanted the pressure and the surprise. You thought maybe they weren't paying it as much heed and attention as necessary. Maybe we'd lose one. But Nesk decided he had other ideas. They find one back and we find ourselves in a little bit of a rehost as we reconvene and pace akin to Silence, who is
Not allowed to talk yet.
Not allowed to talk yet.
We got the ready call already coming down, and just quickly check in. Put down about 1,500 steps already during this game, so I can show you how much I've been pacing about, talking about the stakes, talking about what is coming up next, and just Nesk able to pick up the triple kill there before he's finally found the player that was able to take him down as he ran out of ammunition himself. Such a great play coming through.
Like, we killed Nesk, but at what cost? What did it cost you?
Everything. It's a case of, like, if we all push at the same time, they can kill us all. And technically it's correct, because
that's
you killed them all, but you didn't have much left in that case.
All right, one last hold, one last attempt from this defense to, I guess, try and bring us an even split, which would be pretty good. To be fair, in the grand scheme of things, if we're talking coast, if we're talking attackers from these two teams, we're seeing the balance generally shift into the favor of success. They've been very successful across the board in putting pressure on their opponents, taking either the pockets or the whole shebang and making sure it counts. I'm super excited to see FaZe go and give it their all here because they were very good on the pace on bigger maps. They take away most of the meat and the kind of gristle of the rest of the building. How much quicker can they be is that point of curiosity, and what else can Liquid do to stop them overwhelming them?
It's the big question here. Liquid a good first 2 rounds, then FaZe able to strike back, and now Liquid able to put in a 5th or roll a 3rd on round number 5. And then you're wondering, why was it necessary to retake Cool Vibes? I'm trying to figure it out. It might have been because they wanted to make sure that they didn't have to deal with all the vertical angles that were created, so they could retake the top for control, but honestly, I don't think it was necessary to toss 4 bodies at him.
I think they either underestimated what was going on and how many bodies were up there and thought most of the push was somewhere else, or they didn't expect Nest to be so close. I think they expected to lose 1 body in that situation, reflood the top, and then hold vertical, assuming the rest of them had pushed ready to take the diffuser from underneath. But that's, again, all assumptions. You can only play the assumption game in moments like that. We are not in the comms. We are not in the strat book. We are not in the game to the same degree. We have, again, omnipotence and omniscience, and it's so easy from our situation to, I guess, raise questions and wonder things. But at the end of the day, the stress that these 2 teams are facing and all the intel that they have, well, that is privy to them and them alone. And here, this mirror window is privy to whoever can stay standing. Cyber is suffering everything. They throw bodies, bullets, drones, and probably the kitchen sink in a moment, but it's the C4 that loops round, doesn't quite catch them, pull back at the perfect time, cooks the grenade, but they are rotated slightly. Fresh angle has the hop through to the hatch if they want to take it. Cameraman has set himself up on the backside of the VIP in case they flip through, but there it is. Palu finds Cyber on the backboard.
Made it through the rotation, but only with a dead body that was being tossed in by the grenade. And again, the opening kill will be here for Liquid. Make that 2.
Twice.
Just firing through the floor. Indeed, the second time he managed to pick up a kill from that angle.
And the same person, cameraman, trying the same thing. The shotgun on the close entrance. I called it as the watch on the back, but Nesk is well aware of the game. He makes sure that he is the one that wins the gambit, but that frees us up in this situation. Now, they can't quite get the full angle on Hall of Fame until they're able to get rid of that jammer that's around the back of the site as Bullet tries to put pressure back onto the white window and then peels his way around underneath, keeps them guessing and curious, and with 40 seconds, it's probably the best moment too. They need to start their steady approach towards the site. It begins on Aquador as Astro. He slips back, still with a C4 in pocket, but no more as nothing's there apart from the bullets of Palu, and Palu is pocketing every player left. There's a C4 in the pocket of Souls. He slips by over the top and heads to the default. The long arm doesn't catch anybody. They go a bit wide, and it's Moringa that goes wider. Suddenly, Bullet is all that's left. Went for his big rotation and play. They know where he is. He pops the shield, but they pop his head.
This guy saving his teammate's life right there. The down came through due to the shield popping up, and at the moment he will be able to instantly get the headshot down. But even more important, the round is saved. Liquid win that one and are now leading 4-2. We're back in a situation here where I believe we've been here 2-3 times before already, where a 4-2 split for either of these teams.
I think, yeah, it's pretty much every time.
Yeah. And everyone who had the actual 4-2 lead was able to eventually take the map as well. So one a bit more confident than the other. But we'll see if that one will hold up. Warden being brought out by Liquid. That is going to be an interesting one. Maybe expecting to see these smoke takes here that we saw all the way back at Cafe. Feels like hours ago right now, like the start of the day. And of course, there is smokes being brought on cameramen.
Yeah,
actually,
I think
rather than grenades.
that's
and on Bullet.
That's the giveaway of, are they going for a smoke take? There's 2 tick boxes. 1, is it FaZe? Yes.
Okay,
and 2, what did they bring on Iana? Oh, smokes.
Yeah,
Okay.
do you bring smokes over grenades? Yes. Well, that should give away the
That's
game.
a smoke take. And the thing about it is, you especially know it with FaZe because they're very good with grenades. They're very good with explosives. They've demonstrated it time and time again today. But as we've seen many times, they love to do these smoke takes. And I think Warden, it was a great counter pick the first time round. They were able to use it and lock off one of the early pushes from Cafe. There was a bit of a response bait in that they waited on the timing of the glasses and sort of said, no, okay, let's go now. They still lost the firefight when the drop came to it, but it does show this massive awareness of how each other loves to play, how each other loves to approach their attacks and their control and responses to each other.
All right, let's calm it all down as we head into that second half right now. The grenade is being tossed in, smokes are being tossed in at the same time as well. Quite wondering what's going on here. A lot of the utility has been used, but only the smoke canister really pops. Both grenades, I believe, no, just one has been tossed in. 2 smokes. There's nothing to do with it. Like, Moringa's using those glasses and is like, I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious what they were attempting there. I think the smokes were... They were going for something aggressive with the grenade, hoping somebody was on the bar. Because to be fair, that grenade was perfect if someone was behind the bar on the chassis, which they often are. They were, I guess, expecting the ADSs on the close window and just trying to burn them with the first 2 smokes. I get what they were doing, but I think that was Moringa like, smoke rush. Oh, no, wait.
It was with a lack of information, and well, Moringa used the Google, well, not Google glasses, smart glasses.
Smart glasses.
I keep on calling them like that.
I don't know.
Either way, they used them, didn't see anything. Paolo now comes around the corner, picks up a kill, goes for the second right here, spots him right around it, but doesn't land the shot. Astra will, however, clean headshot.
Scratches his name into the Hall of Fame and then goes down to try and write a new song elsewhere, which is, I guess, let's try and keep our team in this as he did on Cafe, frequently pulling these big clutch moments and rounds. Can they do it on Coast is the dance. Again, that wall is jammed, held off, so they've got to try and dig themselves deep. They're getting pings of a body that's just loose and dancing on a soft wall, still pinged and still holding off. They're playing the game of, well, there's a Banshee here. I don't want to give my location away just yet because I'm concerned that they're going to swing me. Let's get some cover here first, lads. We've got 50 seconds, more than enough time to reshuffle and sort of replay our cards in our hand. There is the pop on the wall in the backside. He has some support, and there goes that hard wall too. That puts the Warden in a very tricky situation. Locks off and sprayed over the suffered side, though. It seems like it might have been dropped. They did. As Nesk digs up, gets the charge, and gets the man who threw it as well. It's one more on the door. Iana goes down. And suddenly it's just Cyber in the sight yet again. Sprays and swung, but Liquid tie 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, and the amount of time that Cyber is able to just find himself in the middle of the side to pick up kills.
You take your eyes off him for a second.
You take your eyes off it. Like, it's funny as well because he literally just took out the Banshee 5 seconds earlier, and then you're seeing all the action unfold, and suddenly he's in Aquarium pushing in the middle of the bar on billiards. It's like, how did he get there? He's literally shift Wing across the map right there, able to come up in the back, and unfortunately it wasn't enough for them to pick up the round now on FaZe, and Liquid are getting one closer. It is 2-5, and you know what that means. One more round, and we find ourselves on a map and a match point. And it's not just going to be 1. It could be 4.
One more round. One more round. And, well, it's been a bit of a doozy so far. It was 2, then 2, then for the first time 3 rounds threaded in a row. Something that is, it's been still this consistent juggling of control, going back and forth. They've been able to take their first defense. They find themselves in a situation on Kitchen now to see if they can, I guess, bring balance and FaZe. Long conversations. They've been able to find some success after their attack timeouts before. It led them to 2 rounds previously. It led them to necessary ones in games earlier on in the series, inside the day itself. It's the end of a long day for some of these teams, some of these players. And this room is still just getting hotter and warmer every single round.
Every single round. And the teams get louder and louder as well. You might see the faces of FaZe. The pressure. You can read it off. Either way, the Warden will be making his re-entry. And again, we see the smokes coming down on cameramen. We see Bullet again. And there it is. It's an Amaru. Where do you use it here? It's not for a fast plan, that's for sure.
No. My usual assumption with an Amaru on this map is to get to the roof and cut off rotations.
Yeah.
Get up onto the box. Because there was almost a moment where they punished an early bit of a rotation before. If you can get yourself to a situation where you're looking in and amongst that core of the danger donut that Coastline is, before people expect it, well, it wouldn't be the first time you've A, punished teams by doing that, and B, especially had teams punished on this map.
Who was it that on the desk said Nesk is the best player that has ever walked in Latam? Was it Demo or was it X? Was it both, maybe?
It might have been both.
Look at him right now, 13 on 4.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's X then, because...
You don't want to give Demo his ride as, oh, this could be dangerous.
Yeah, he was eyeing the idea of making security suddenly way less secure. There it is, he's up, he drops just in front of the goo mine. Around the corner of it, the firefight comes out in office. Now he drops it, but look at the remaining bodies of FaZe quickly trying to offer him some support. Astro survived. But how much longer will he be able to hold in? You can see Palu's going for a bit of a rotation. They want to offer Moringa a bit of that extension, a bit of help and health as Cameraman is having a big deep right in the ruins. Moringa digs himself close and wins it. Somehow takes care of Astro and is able to swing himself through, resecuring security. Pulling out of office as Cyber is the one that moves in and retakes the space like a hermit crab, but he is way more likely to throw off the shackles of a shell and see if he can do something, well, more dangerous and debonair.
Trying to sneak around. They know that the goo mine has been taken out and will be able to pick up that kill for free. Moringa stayed inside and will be punished for it. Now it's going to be Cameraman and Cyber that have control of security right here. Smoke canisters have been popped, but a very long angle will allow him to watch all the way through to that door. But again, nothing will be done with the smoke. But it's only the first of the 4 that they have available to them to be used. So there's still 3 more available, but just look at the amount of drones. 1, 2 left in pocket. That's what they need to deal with for these next 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's all they have to try and get the information, of course, with the Geminis as well.
3C4 is still in pocket too. And there's the grenade yet again. I talked about how FaZe are so good with them, and then they just demonstrate it right round the next round. But Taxi Cake, make sure you don't last much longer than that. Swung on the back. The Warden is ever vigilant, and now here comes a bit of a response. Cameraman has 1 smoke canister to potentially cut off a bit of an angle for a split second against the Warden. Instead, goes for the swing close on that storage corner. It's a double down on a man who's inside, but Nesk, he's also there too. It just leaves these 2. They go deep on the rotate, and Bullet gets it 2 versus 2. 40 seconds, and Nesk finds yet another piece of the puzzle. The picture he is putting together is, yeah, you're right, I am this great player. I am so often cited and seen as being one of the best in the world, and I am hoping to keep that mantle of being the best in Latin America. The one thing that's missing from his toolbox is that hammer. Bullet pops down the kit and goes for the plant. Gonna stick it, why not? Had the time, has a smoke canister, and now has a lot of expectations. Either side it swings. Palu's the first to go. The C4 goes next. There's Nesk, there's one more! And there is a man yelling out a declaration. Yeah, maybe I am the best in the region.
Maybe he is. Is there any question about it right now? He is showing up big here. Getting the clutch done. Getting the kill. Getting the round. 2 on 6-4 match points are here. Currently, the man is on 16 kills. If this would go all the way to max OT and Nesk keeps playing like he does right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with like 26, 27 kills. He would outdo the frag record that Paula put down on OGA, which was 26 kills, I believe.
Well, is it better or worse when you're taken past by a teammate?
I don't know.
How does Vettel feel all the time?
I don't think he feels great.
To be honest, no one on this roster is. It's a team of Lewis Hamilton.
It's only Lewis Hamilton's indeed. If you want to make the reference to F1,
will.
But
for you,
thank you. I really appreciate it. F1 is my passion, just like Siege.
Yep.
Either way, Liquid are a round away, and they have 4 rounds to make that 1 round happen. But I have a feeling. And you know, okay, I'm not going to say it because the last time I said I had a feeling, I said it was going to OT, but it doesn't look like it. So I'm not going to be sharing the feeling that I'm currently having. It's going to be all up in the air, and I'll say whether or not I was right at the end. But it is Liquid. They have the opportunity to close it out, not just once, not just twice, not just 3 times, but 4 times right now. The pressure is on FaZe. You saw the stress earlier on in their faces, and well, that stress will have multiplied. Because this one round could mean that their tournament is over and they will be going home.
4 rounds is what has been tied in a row for Liquid 2. It is far from impossible, but it is in no way easy. The hardest tasks, then the most rewarding, never are, unfortunately, FaZe, and you've got to try and dig deep, find some of the pace and the caliber that you've been able to have throughout this tournament so far. Else, you will not be going forward, you will not be progressing, and you will not be lifting the hammer this time round. They could have set themselves up for a very spread out defense as they've been able to do before. Nesk is inside and above. Hookah has a lot of support in terms of structure, but currently no bodies outside of the two C4s that might get ripped torn from underneath. There's one dangerously living. I think that's PSK inside Aqua to inside office underneath Aqua, and it is ready with Sexacake offering some rotation from the lobby. They could try and split themselves in this situation. Another grenade. Not quite a catch this time. PSK goes deep, goes big, gets one, digs back round before the second goes for a swing. I think they've gone around the close side, pops the head, goes for it, but PSK gets two, gets the double, and gets the diffuser down inside the office.
That is a Christmas package that just has been delivered to their front door, and Bullet will now try and recover it as well. There is all the Liquid members coming around as cameramen will be cutting off the rotation, starting it off, taking down Nesk. This incredible player, PSK! The triple kill will come in. Only 2 are left. Cyber will be pushing from the lobby as cameraman takes down Palu. There is still a lot of work to do here for FaZe. They need to recover that diffuser. They have a minute to do it, but 3 members of Liquid to dig through. Are they able to do it as the time ticks down? And they know exactly where both these players are due to that one camera still being up.
Caught by the default, and you can see the rotation, the double down of the bodies around the diffuser. They're playing Protect Mr. President. If he was inside a very small box, that was the key to them getting through to the next round. Moringa suffers from a quick swing inside and underneath as they try and reconvene either side. Cyber with a big take, and cameraman, what a moment for you to finally get off the bottom of the board, finding the triple. They find their round, and FaZe with a clutch that was as necessary as anything, but also against all odds. It's not over yet.
It is not over yet. We get to live another round. The tables are being slammed hard by these players because they know there is an opportunity to come back. It looked pretty dire for them when the diffuser were dropped and 3 singular players were taken care of by PSK, who then found himself caught off by a bit of an unfortunate angle, exposing himself to the door. And as you see right there, the grenade not quite far enough. PSK for one. Ghost Brown realizes the push is actually coming in from his back, so turns around, wins that gunfight. Drops that diffuser very deeply. And yes, cameraman able to find some good responses, we have to say. 2 on that row that he managed to shut down. It's being portrayed currently.
Oh, that was a hell of a take. Right from underneath Cyber. Swinging around to offer the support. As I said, it was a perfect moment for cameraman to show up, pushed as far into the corner as you could be. 007. But then he remembers he does have that license to kill and finds a fair few bodies for himself inside the round. They have something after having nothing for such a long period of time, but they still have the worst bit of the something, which is 3 more rounds. 3 more rounds just to get to OT, just to have a chance of not going home, and just to have another swing at having a swing with the hammer.
If it helps, they're 25% through the rounds they needed to dig through to get closer. It is getting closer and closer, of course, and it's still a tall mountain to climb. Especially with how accurate Liquid has been and how accurate Nesk has been. It's good that they managed to shut him down that last round. It's otherwise it could have been over right now. We would have been celebrating Liquid's victory over FaZe, but it's not quite there yet. Liquid have 3 map and match points. FaZe need to fight back. And the way that they will do this is put up some pressure from Aqua. The Gemini Replicator will be dropping in to gain some information and will be followed up shortly by Cyber, who wants to go for an aggressive early kill yet once again.
Sexy Cake is underneath of the C4. They can try and block it off if they dig themselves in onto the default. Hasn't been contested yet, but they will be most likely aware of this presence. It's whether he has the knowledge of theirs. The holes are open and they're popping underneath to try and get this big back wall open. There it goes. Sexy Cake opens the floor and Cyber is the man who falls first this time round. A big loss. He might have been able to pop off the back of the hard wall there to allow those Selmas to steadily breach. He does. He gave his life for this job. FaZe, you got to make sure it was worth it.
Grenade flies in, but the ADS will catch it. One left in the pocket will fly through, but will not deal a single point of damage to any of the Liquid members. And as the smokes are being deployed right now, they want to maybe try and go for a plan, but it seems like that's not the case. They're rotating around, they're running through luggage now. Into the hallway they go, hoping to potentially outrun these Liquid members. Astro comes around the corner with the diffuser, will be dropped. And a C4 comes in, but it's way too far. It's two members down on the side right now. They somehow bring it back to equal numbers, but there's still pressure on either side. Still pressure from the cool vibes. Will they make it stick?
Such a dangerous firefight. Moringa is the last line that's otherwise a spread, and he's able to spread his way through. Palu gets one more. It's all down to Bullet now. Dug in on the corner. Pre-fires towards the one man. 30 seconds, but they know exactly where he is. They're watching every single route out. He has no room to move, but enough skill to take it himself. It's Palu that locks Liquid in. They are the survivors, the victors. A long day of success is behind them. FaZe have fallen.
FaZe have fallen, and Liquid will ride on as they manage to lock it out here. Beautifully played. In control throughout the entirety of Coastline. You can almost say they have 4 match points, and look at the emotions that are coming out right now. Nesk, 16 kills, leading them to the victory there. But it's Palu that locked it off, and it's Liquid to continue their journey through the lower bracket.
All eyes on the hammer, all eyes on Liquid, and unfortunately for FaZe, that includes yours now as well. We'll throw it over to the desk for one last time today and see what they have to say.
Thanks so much, M and Hap. What a great match between these two huge rivals in Brazil. And at the end, Team Liquid keep the dream alive.